What is shaking, everybody? It is the first show. You see, we spent a lot of time and a lot of effort coming up with a really new name, a really cool type of name for the show. You know, it's that one when you're driving down the street and you go, man, that guy must have really thought long and hard about that name. And you look up and it says Bill's Liquor. That's basically what we came up with. Just the Tom Tolbert show is it. I'm not sure what it's going to end up being. It'll probably stay the Tom Tolbert show, but I've told you last week, we still got a lot of stuff to figure out here. Like behind me, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know why I'm blocking Michael Myers. That was a faux pas on my part. Michael Myers should definitely get center stage. We got the Niner helmet. We got the, believe it or not, the Shaquille O'Neal shoe. I have no idea what that thing smells like. Because, yes, it is game used. And it is 20. No, it's 30 years old. That thing is 30 years old. I think if I bring that out in the backyard, it'll go vampire on me. It'll just disintegrate. It's been inside so long. I don't think that's seen the light of day forever. But, and of course, I told you I wanted to have some books up there. So I seem learned. I'm not sure how many of those I've read. Probably a few of them. We're going to have chat in here at some point. We get to that. We're going to have guests. Wednesday, Brent Jones is going to join me. I'm going to have some friends from sports world, some friends that you may not know that hopefully you'll get a chance to know at some point throughout the course of doing this podcast. But I had to start off with this, and we'll get to all the other stuff, all the technical stuff kind of at the end of the show. And is the show going to be the same time, all that kind of stuff. But I had to start off the show with, of course, hockey. I mean, who doesn't love hockey? And go ahead and raise your hand. But who doesn't love hockey that loved USA Canada? Who didn't love the Four Nations? The Four Nations was incredible. I don't even care if Sweden and Finland were playing. Those games were phenomenal. But the USA Canada, that was something special. That was something above and beyond what you get. And it wasn't necessarily that the NHL has figured out the All-Star game because we had the juxtaposition between that and the NBA All-Star game, which is garbage. It is. It's just terrible. But by definition, most All-Star games are. Pro Bowl, they don't even do it anymore. They play flag football is what they do. They might as well do Rochambeau. It's like, who cares? But being that people love football, I'm sure the Pro Bowl still gets incredible ratings, even though it's not football. Let's also not forget the NHL before the Four Nations did their own All-Star game, and that was garbage too. I still contend baseball is the best just because you get the batter and pitcher, and no one wants to be embarrassed. And you don't get sliding, breaking up double plays. You don't get guys diving over the sidewall to try to save a. You don't get that. Yeah, I don't expect that. It's a exhibition game. They're all exhibition games. But this was different because it was for their country, their respective country. And maybe at some point, if Russia decided they wanted to be part of it, that would be nice. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But certainly a Russian hockey team would fit right in, and that would make it like – obviously, that's why 1980 is always going to stand out because all the stuff that was going on outside of hockey. But this was incredible because hockey is Canada's sport. That's their national sport. It's like football is our national pastime now. It used to be baseball. Now it's football. So that's theirs. That's what they have. That's what Canada has is hockey. So it's obviously very important to them. But we're right there. You couldn't tell the difference between those two teams when they played. And just the fact that it went to overtime and it was Connor McDavid, the best player in the game, scoring, I saw that thing coming too. You're like, do not leave him open in the center of the ice. Please, somebody take him. They didn't take him. Yeah, it's over. But the fact that the first 4 goals were from guys who played, either Americans playing in Canada or Canadians playing in America, and then representing their countries. You had teammate versus teammate, which was super cool. And it was just a passion that you don't see very often. And that's why it works. I don't know if there's something in basketball that can be done like that. I doubt it. And I know a lot of people, look, here's the thing about hockey, and I hear this all the time. I ask them, do you like hockey? Like I love hockey. I don't watch as much as I'd like to, just because I'm watching so much basketball throughout the course of the year. But when the Sharks are in the playoffs, I'm watching the Sharks. When the NHL Stanley Cup playoff starts, I'm usually pick a couple series out that I really want to watch that should be entertaining. Usually the Oilers are involved, or the Avalanche are involved, possibly maybe the Canes are involved. But the Rangers were fun to watch last year in the playoffs. But I'll pick a couple series out because that's the NBA playoffs too, and I'm trying to keep track of what's going on with those series. But I love hockey. Hockey's incredible. But here's what I hear with hockey. I can't follow the puck. I can't follow the puck. Well, fucking pay attention. I mean, just a little bit. And get your head out of your phone and look at the screen and actually try following the puck. Nothing frustrates me more than watching a game with a family member or a friend, and they're like, "Oh, hey, can you rewind that? I didn't see it." No, I can't rewind it. I mean, I could theoretically, but let me be more exact. I'm not going to rewind it. Pay attention to the game. It's there for you. Like, we can stop when we want to. Something controversial happens. A referee makes a stupid call, which seemingly happens all the time. A great play. Whether you want to go back and look at something, replay, overturned or not, you go back for that. But I'm just going to go back and let's rewind. No, I get it. The puck is not all that easy. But again, get your face out of your phone. Pay attention to the game. Like, I'm not going to get into the whole, like, hey, back in my day. But back in my day, you actually had to pay attention to the game. There was no first down marker. There was no score. There was nothing. You actually had to pay attention to what was going on during the game. Like, how many yards do they need for the first down? Oh, there are the chains. I can see the chains. That looks like about 4 yards, 4 or 5 yards. 3 or 4, something like that. So you actually had to, like, okay, what down is it? Hell, what's the score? You may watch 5 minutes of the game and not even know the score. So, you're actually engaged in the game because you had to be engaged in the game. Because if you weren't engaged in the game, you had no idea what the hell was going on. I think we have some videos of some sports that will show you what I'm talking about. You're just sitting there watching the game. And if they dropped you in the middle of the game, you literally don't have any idea of what's going on. Like, what are we doing here? Oh, yeah, look at that game. No score, right? But what I do notice is the dude in the middle of the Arizona zone. That dude is drop dead gorgeous, I got to say. Oh, look at that. And look at Stevie, a young Steve Kerr who actually has blonde hair. It hasn't gone coaching gray. See, Dean would have told you right there. Dean would have said, dude, you get into coaching, you're getting gray hair. You're getting right. What a great pass. What a great inbound pass by me. His little drop pass. But no, so you're watching the game. What do you get? Well, you get a bottom crawl because this is from the Pac-12 network. I don't know how long ago they showed it. But there's nothing there. There's no score. By the way, we kicked their ass. There's no timestamp. Oh, don't do me like that, JR. Oh, you bastard. Oh, you missed it. Thank goodness. I'm like watching it like it's happening. Like, I hope we win. No, we do win. We won by 18. But I think we got a football one. We got other sports. Like, this was sports back then. You had no idea what was happening on the field, on the ice. And look, let me tell you this. My mom has gotten into the Las Vegas Knights. They live in Vegas. Her and my brother live in Vegas. And she got into the Knights because that was the first team in Vegas. Like, believe it or not, the Knights are more Vegas's team than the Raiders. Even though the Raiders are the NFL, there's something about the Knights that everyone feels like, hey, this is our team. It was an expansion team. It's not a team that came from somewhere else and relocated into Vegas. Like, they've really embraced the Knights. And who would have thought, right? A place like Vegas embracing hockey. But my mom is watching hockey. All right? My mom's watching hockey. She's going to be 82. If my mom can watch hockey, you can watch hockey. You can pay attention a little bit. Because I don't think she follows the puck. I don't think she tracks the puck all that well either. And again, it's not that easy. But if you just pay attention a little bit, you can do it. And I look, I don't want to get into the whole, and I'll get into this maybe at some other point, like oh, if you kids would just pay attention, if you just would watch this, you watch like, look, I don't want to get, I don't want to do the whole like my era was better than your era and your era. It just, I don't want to do that because there's certain things about like my era that I embrace, that I love, that you'll hear me talk about from time to time in terms of sports and how I like watching sports, how I like consuming sports, all those things. But there's certain things about now that I love. Like I love being able to record games. I love being able to watch games when I want to watch them. So I don't want to do the whole my era is better than your era. This years is better. Although I do have to say one thing, and because we can dispute that all you want for some of the younger people that are watching, we can dispute like what's better about your era, what's better about my era, go back and forth, and it seems a little bit fruitless. But I will say this about my era, and this is there's no dispute about this. We definitely, without a doubt, had the better serial killers, didn't we? Right? I mean, that was like the golden age of serial killers. I mean, I've counted at least 5 first ballot Hall of Famers. 5. I probably more, but just off the top of my head, I can think of 5. And again, that's a whole bit. I might get into that at some point, but I just want to let that be known that there's no dispute about that. I'm not going to get into it about that. That's ours. That's the 70s, 80s. We embraced that. We got that. So again, pay attention. The passion was incredible during the entire game. Like it was like Olympics, what the Olympics used to be. And I remember growing up, and it didn't matter who you were. If you wore red, white, and blue, I was cheering for you. Right? It was America. And I remember the 1980 Olympics, Miracle on Ice. I listened to that and partially watched it. And the reason I partially watched it and listened to it is because it may come as a shock, I was in trouble. I can't even remember what I did, but I was grounded to the room for 2 weeks. So I had to come home from school and go to my room, which wasn't terrible. I had a Nerf hoop in there. I used to play Nerf basketball 101, and I'd set up my teams. You know, you'd have the like Buffalo Braves and the Lakers and the Celtics and everybody. I keep little box scores. But so that was fine. But I had to stay in my room. So I had to read or, do whatever. I categorize my baseball cards, but I don't know what I did. And it didn't bother me that much. Oh, and no TV, by the way. So no TV, nothing except just imagination of what are you going to do? And again, I was fine with that, except for the hockey game. I said, Dad, come on, man. Please. It's USA Russia. Let's go. It's us versus the Pinkos. Look, that's just like 1980s talk. I would never say that now. It's us versus the commies. Let's do it. Let's go. You got to let me watch. My dad, son, I can't do it. I was like, well, sure you can. You're like the judge. You're the one. I go to you, right? For reduced sentencing. I'd always try to, flip a phrase like that. Yeah, he didn't find it funny. Yeah, I think it actually hurt me more than it helped me back in the day. But I said, come on, I'll do an extra week. That's how much it meant to me watching the game. I'll do an extra week. Nope, can't do it. So I laid in my room. I kept my foot in the room just so technically I was in the room. I don't know if he would have bought that either. If I was laying out in the hallway with my foot just in the room. And if I'd have said, Dad, come on, technically I'm in the room, obviously. That would not have gone over well. Like my dad, and I love my dad, R.I.P., passed away a couple years ago. I love him. He was just a great man, family man, loyal, all that stuff. But he was like, when he said something was going to happen, that's what was going to happen, period. It's old school that way, right? And she's like, I'm sorry. I'd love to. I'd love to let you off for good behavior, but I can't. So, sure you can. But he wasn't cool with my dad wasn't super cool with the sarcasm. He did not like, and that got me into trouble occasionally too. You tried the sarcasm because I knew it was funny. Like I did, this is going to be funny. did not land at all with my dad. So I ended up laying in the closet, listening to the game, listening to the Miracle on Ice. And every once in a while, I'd get up, and it was the hallway, the kitchen, and then the living room. And there was kind of a wall in between. So I had to like peer around and look through this little gap in the kitchen and the wall. And if my dad leaned back, he would have seen me, but he didn't. So every once in a while, I'd go and just to look at it. And I got a glimpse of the last like 10, 15 seconds of it, and then went back in my room. But that's how much that meant to me. And the nationalism is huge. And that's why this event was so cool. It was just the electricity, the drama, and the main thing, guys cared. They just cared. You think guys care about all-star games? They don't care. They just don't want to get hurt. They want to go back to their teams. It's an honor, and they have it in their contracts, a lot of them. They get paid extra for being on an all-star team, but to actually go and play, nah. I mean, so if we're not going to care, then why do it? Why even bother? I mean, we're just faking it by making these little mini tournaments. None of it. I don't really get entertained by any of it anymore. I got to be honest with you. Even Max McClung, great dunks, no question. Dude's a G leaguer. Like, I want to watch NBA guys. I want to watch NBA guys get out there and do the dunks like Dominique and Jordan used to do. Like, give me some name guys to get out there and do these dunks. Vince Carter, guys that are like really good all-star type guys that go out there and do it. If you're just going to give me, like, let's just open it up then. Let's open up the dunk contest to everybody. And we'll get dudes off the street that'll probably rip the rim off. We won't know who they are, but it'll be incredible dunks. But that's not the point of it. So if you're not going to care, don't do it. The two ideas I had were one-on-one contest, get your all-stars and let them play one-on-one against each other, or horse contest. Remember the old horse contest? I don't know, some of you are probably too young to remember that. It's like on Saturdays, and they would have like, Pete Maravich was incredible, by the way. And they'd have a horse contest between NBA players. And that was really cool to watch the NBA players do a horse contest. Like, I love that. That was awesome. So if you're not going to do something like that, and I don't know the NHL will continue on doing this, if enough guys got hurt, Matthew Tkachuk couldn't even finish. I think it was a game against, was it Sweden or Finland? I'm not sure. He didn't even finish that game. And then he didn't even finish the game against Canada. And you know how much that meant to him. How much did it mean to him? He started a fight 2 seconds into the first time they played Canada. I mean, was that the most bananas game you've ever seen? 3 fights, 9 seconds? I mean, that was incredible. That was incredible. Like, you can say, but I don't like hockey. I just want to watch hockey. I don't want to watch fighting, right? Bullshit. You like fighting. Like, how many times has anybody ever watched a hockey game and a fight breaks out and they say, you know what? Anybody want a beer? I'm gonna go get beers. Anybody want a beer? I don't like fighting. I'm gonna go watch. You guys watch the fighting. I like hockey. I don't like fighting. I'm gonna go get a beer. No, nobody's leaving during fights. You can say what you want. Is it barbaric? Of course it is. It's like throwing at somebody in baseball. That's barbaric too. We like it. Baseball brawl. Do you like it? Well, yeah, we do. I mean, I hate when people go, no, I don't like that stuff. I don't like, well, then you're not human, okay? Trust me, we've gone a long way from lions eating Christians. But that took place too. And people were cheering for that one too. Like, oh, now if you're rooting for the Lions, that's kind of messed up. Like, go Lions. You had your like Barry Sanders jersey on. I like the Lions. Go Lions. Let's go. Eat them. Why did he do like a Bill Clinton, like a quasi Bill Clinton there? That was really weird. So it's kind of who we are. So I just embrace it. I don't want it to turn into a boxing match. Like, I do like hockey, and I want to watch hockey, and I want to watch the guys skate. But yeah, I'm a big fan of frontier justice when it comes to policing your sport. I'm a big fan of hitting guys in baseball if they're doing things that kind of upset the balance of the game. And again, that's part of my old school. That's part of who I am. That's part of how I grew up. That's part of how I watch sports, was that it's better to have the players police the game then the game try to police the players. Does it get out of hand sometimes? Of course it does. I mean, there are times you're like, oof, you probably went a little too far with that one. Probably a smidge too far with that. Like, obviously, you don't want to see guys get hit in the head. You don't want to see guys miss months upon months because of a high stick or a cross check into the glass. Like, I mean, at some point, and that's the fine line, right? Where you're trying to police the game, but you don't want it to go. And then, is there a perfect answer? No, but there wasn't anybody that wasn't entertained by those 3 fights start that game. Why? Not just because he was fighting. They weren't even great fights by hockey standards. But you want some of those, you just go on YouTube. You'll find those all day. Look up Ty Domi. You get a whole bunch of those. You can look up McSorley. You can get all the fights you want back in the day. Willie Plett. There's all kinds of great fights. But you don't fight as much anymore, and that's fine. But it wasn't the fights. It was the intensity. It was what it meant to them, what it meant to every man on that team. And that Canada so desperately wanted to keep the title of best in the world. It's our sport. This is what we do. It would be like USA basketball trying to hold on to the title number 1 in the world. Like, we're the number 1, USA number 1. Anyway, Ode Iron Sheik. So you want to hold on to that, and then USA wants to take it from you. Like, we're coming, right? We're coming. We got some good players on this team. Matthews, the Kachucks, et al. They got a lot of guys on that team that are incredible. So it meant something to them. It wasn't just, hey, we got 2 weeks off during the season. We got 2 weeks off to go kick someone's ass, and we want to win this thing. And the Olympics are going to be nuts. This set the stage for the Olympics because Canada's not as far ahead. It used to be Russia, then it was Russia, Canada, then it was Canada. And I'm not sure where Russia fits in. I'm sure they still would have a great team. But USA is right there now. I mean, this isn't 1980 anymore where it's a massive upset if we were to beat the number 1 team in the world. It's not a college kids playing against the Russian machine. This is pros playing against pros, and there's more and more USA players that are of that quality that can make a Canadian team or make any team. If they were to make a world team, there'd be some USA players on it. So it meant something to them. National pride meant something to them. The letters across the chest meant something to those players. So that's what made it something special. I don't know that we could replicate that in any other sport. I'm not sure. Baseball, maybe, if they wanted to, but you got to be willing to take 2 weeks off as well and set it up, build the drama. Basketball, really can't do it unless you want to do like the world versus USA or something like that. Although I did look it up last night because I was curious what if Yugoslavia were still a country, what their team would look like. You start with Joker and Doncic. That's not bad. That's not a bad squad. Then you got the Bogdanoviches are on that team. Like they would have a pretty sweet squad. I still think USA is the best in the country or the best in the world, but it wasn't like they were rolling people last time. They had their hands full with just Serbia and France. So the world is definitely catching up. But yeah, that's what I love. And I love that event. And I hope they do the 4 nations again. And I would love it if other sports could figure out a way to replicate that. Like football, obviously, that's not going to happen. Football should be doing what football is doing. No one cares, but that's what they should be doing because no one wants to get hurt after 17 games playing NFL. Hey, look, man, how you feeling? Crap. I mean, but I'm in one piece. Now I got to go play the Pro Bowl. Bust your leg. Guaranteed contract? Nope. Not in football. Maybe unless you're a quarterback. You might get some guarantees. You may get a signing bonus. But why in the world would I want to go play in the Pro Bowl? So anyway, I loved it. I'm hoping more people watch hockey because of it. It could be just, hey, I wanted to follow my country. And now I'm back to watching what I would normally watch. I'm not going to watch hockey any more or any less than I used to. But I just think, and if you go to a hockey game too, you'll like hockey a lot more. Hockey, when you go in person, the speed, the sounds of the puck hitting the sticks, of the puck hitting the pipe, of the player hitting the player, of the player hitting the plexi. I mean, this is skating, just of the skates on the ice. Phenomenal. Like I do. I love going to the hockey games. So hopefully the Sharks are on the come up in the next in the next couple years. I do want to get to a couple other things. I got to talk about my fellow Bear Downer, who had his number 9 retired yesterday for the Golden State Warriors, Andre Iguodala. I was at the game, the beginning of the ceremony, and nothing could make me happier than Andre getting his number retired there. Because you look, and by the way, they killed Dallas, if anybody cares. Dallas missing their whole front line. I mean, you want to talk about decimation, sensation, as my good friend Tim Roy might say. No Gafford, no Lively, no AD, and no Powell. In fact, no front line. Just front line gone. See ya. So the Warriors rolled him, and then after, Andre got his number retired. And I looked this up last night just because I thought, I wonder if he ever averaged more than 10 points for the Warriors. He played 8 years with the Warriors, played a 6-year stint, went to Miami for 2, and then came back to end his career and played 2 there, or played 2 with the Warriors to end his career. The most he averaged with the Warriors was 9.3. That's it. Now, I'm wondering if anybody in the NBA has someone's number retired that averaged not less than double figures for their career with the team, but never averaged double figures in any season with the team. All right, you look at the names that have been retired for the Warriors now, and I know I'm going to miss some. Thomas Sherry, Rick Barry, Chris Mullin, Wilt Chamberlain, or maybe Al may be up there. Adels, I think Al may be up there. But they all averaged, obviously, double figures for their careers. It's certainly the season. My guy Raymond Ritter there, best in the business, PR man. Not even a PR guy. I don't even know what his title is. Everybody keeps getting new titles nowadays. Do you notice that? Like, you can't just be an assistant coach anymore. You got to be an associate head coach. Like, what does that even mean? I asked one of the guys, what does associate head coach mean? He goes, I just get more money. I go, yeah, that's what I thought, because you don't do anything else. But that guy right there, so 9.3 points a game is the most he averaged in a year with the Warriors. That's it. So how does he get his number retired? He got his number retired because of all the things he does that you don't see. Andre was maybe the greatest in the history of the NBA at throwing up seemingly mediocre stats, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and being a plus 20. I mean, just like every game, you would look at the box score. And for those of you that don't know, a plus minus is how your team does when you're on the court. So if you go on the court and it's 0-0, you come off the court, you sub out, and now you're up 15-8. You're a plus 7. You come back on the court, you're up 40-35. You leave the court, you're up 50-49. Well, now you're up 5. Now you're up 1. You're minus 4. So they just add that up throughout the course of the game, and that's your plus minus at the end of the game. It's a stat like anything else. It's not the be-all, end-all. I don't look at the plus minus and go, oh my gosh, this says everything, because it doesn't say everything. There's a lot of stuff that can happen for a plus minus to go wonky or go in your favor. But when it happens over a sustained period of time, then you start going, okay, there's something to this. And with Andre, it wasn't just the stats. It was everything else. It was, as Steve Kerr called him, the adult in the room. It was getting guys organized, settling them down, understanding on defense what the other team was trying to do, and beating them to that spot. Yeah, that's what Draymond does. And when you had him and Draymond on the court at the same time, you had 2 of the smartest players in the NBA on the court at the same time. And you watch, Draymond is going to get his number retired. He might be even in the Hall of Fame. And Andre may be as well, too. And people are going to look at their stats and go, how is that even possible? How are they doing that? Well, it's because of all the other stuff that stats don't tell you. There's so much more to the game than what the stats tell you. And that guy right there, he was a master of it. He was an absolute master of it. Because by all accounts, his stats, They are not. They are not jersey retirement stats. They're not Hall of Fame stats. But he knew how to play the game, and he knew how to help them win championships. In fact, I go back with Andre and I say that was a seminal moment in Warriors history when he came over from the Nuggets. Because remember, they had to jump through all kinds of hoops. Bob Myers and company had to go jump through all kinds of hoops to get that trade done, with trades and draft picks and multiple teams. But the reason they got it done is because Andre wanted to come to the Warriors. And nobody wanted to come to the Warriors before that. You went to the Warriors because you had to go to the Warriors, because nobody else wanted to sign you, because they paid you the most money. That's why you came to the Warriors. There was nothing about the Warriors that said, hey, we're a championship type team. But Andre saw that. So Andre wanted to come here. That was the first time a really good player, a respected NBA player, wanted to come to the Warriors. That, along with the year before when they traded Monte Ellis for Andrew Bogut, that set the defensive mind, the defensive culture for this team. Those two guys set the defensive culture, and then Draymond coming in as well. But him coming off the bench as well was a big moment for the Warriors. Because if you remember that first year, he didn't want to come off the bench when Steve got there. He wanted to start. He'd been a starter his whole career. And there's just something about not starting, right? It's like a demotion, you feel like. And Steve told him, look, you're still going to be in the closing lineups. You'll be in the lineup to end the half. You'll be in the lineup to end the game. He goes, I just think this is a better way and gives us more flexibility with you coming off the bench. And I can set my lineups a little bit better. So Andre finally said yes. And again, it wasn't just like, hey, I'll do it. He had to convince him, and he did it. And it was just so awesome that he was the one that ended up winning the MVP that year in the finals. He was the finals MVP, and he averaged 16. Never averaged over 10 in any season when he was with the Warriors, but averaged, I think, 16-3 in those finals, and along with, probably 5-6 assists, 5-6 rebounds, somewhere around there. And remember, he was also guarding LeBron James, a much younger LeBron James. Although watching LeBron James now, you wouldn't know it. I mean, LeBron James still looks like LeBron James and Tom Brady have the longest primes in the history of sports. I mean, they both of them have like 20-year primes, which is impossible. Your prime's usually about 8, maybe 10 years, not 20 years. A 20-year prime is just insane. So he had to guard him too. So you're guarding LeBron. You're winning the MVP. And remember, he started, I want to say it was game 4. Nick Uren came to Steve with the idea of starting Andre Iguodala for Andrew Bogut because they wanted to get smaller and faster. They wanted to get going up and down. And it worked out beautifully. They ended up winning the championship. But to go from being a starter, being a gold medalist, being a all-star, I think in 2012, all those things, to now being asked to be a bench guy, not super easy, but he did it. And then to win the MVP, it was just beautiful. It was awesome. It was like his selflessness paid off, not only in the Warriors winning a championship, but the fact that he got the MVP. So I just loved watching him play. I think he's got a great mind. Not just for basketball. I mean, look what he's doing for business. I forget what he's doing for the National Basketball Players Association. He's going to be doing something for them. I wonder if I have my claims denied, if I can just send them to him. Like, that's where, my insurance. And I'm going to call Andre, man, can you help me out? I mean, I'm trying to get my teeth taken care of. Can you, they're denying my claim. What? That's not what you do? Oh, my bad. I mean, but I do have his number. I can give him a call and see if he can hook me up with that. But congratulations, man. It's always great to see a Bear Downer do well. And the career that you've had and the impact that you've had. And you get recognized for stuff that people can't see. It's pretty cool. I mean, is the next stop the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I have no idea. But the fact that your number is going to be up there forever, and the fact that you are out of that group because you're an old ass. Uh, you're the first one from that group to get his number retired, and you're the first one to get their number retired at Chase. Everybody else was over at the Coliseum. You're over at Chase. That's pretty cool stuff, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And I love to see guys get rewarded that aren't always the points guys. Because I played on teams where I'd have guys go look at a box score and say, "I got my 30. What'd you guys do?" "Well, we lost, dumbass." Like, who cares how many you got? Oh, and by the way, you gave up 34. So how does that help us? I mean, maybe try stopping somebody occasionally. That might actually help the cause instead of you worried about your points and your shots, which was something Andre never worried about. Andre always worried about the big picture. How do we win? How do we play the game the right way and put ourselves in a position to win? So, speaking of playing the game the right way and putting your team in a position to win, I wanted to transition to some of the trades that have happened because I haven't had a chance to get into those. And I wanted to transition from Andre to Jimmy Butler because there are similarities. Now, there are differences. Butler's a numbers guy, too. I mean, Butler's going to play the right way, and Butler's going to throw up 20 and 7 and 6 or 5 or whatever it is. I think after last night, I think he's played 6 games with the Warriors now, and I want to say the assist to turnover ratio is 35-6 or 33-6, something like that. I mean, it's incredible. Like, he doesn't turn the ball over, and I know Steve loves that. Steve likes sane players that aren't going to turn the ball over and do crazy stuff. So you need a little bit of mix of that. Like, so you got to have your guys that are just like incredibly talented and like they kind of do what they do, and the magic happens. And you're gonna have to deal with some. You're gonna have to deal with some craziness that goes along with it. And then you want some guys who are like, okay, they got the crazy handle. Like, you take care of the sane stuff. I need you to make the easy pass. I need you to box out. I need you to set good screens that aren't moving, stuff like that. So, and Jimmy Butler kind of combines it, right? He's a guy that gives them what they don't have: a slasher, a cutter, a guy that can get to the free throw line, a guy that can guard bigger people because he's stout. But more so than anything, he gives them another baller, another basketball player. And I always have a hard time explaining like what basketball player means to people that just follow the sport, maybe never played the sport. Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean basketball player? Basketball player essentially means you don't have to have a play. You can figure out what's going on. You just instinctively know what to do. Defensively, offensively, you just know what you're doing. You know when to cut. You know how to cut. Defensively, you can read what the other team's doing, what they're trying to get to. If you watch the game in Sacramento, they threw a couple cross-court passes. He picked both of them off. He could see him coming a mile away. It looked like that was the play, was Jimmy Butler on a cross-court pass that was going the other way. Like, he just gets the game. He feels the game. There are guys that don't feel the game. And I've said this, so I'll say it here. As much as I love Andrew Wiggins, and I do, I think Andrew is a really good ball player. He wasn't instinctual. Like, he was just a guy that the game, I don't know if the game came naturally to Andrew. Let me get this all set up. I don't know. Like, a lot of times he was just like a little bit behind what was going on in the play. And Jimmy Butler's ahead of what's going on in the play. Draymond Green's probably 2 steps ahead of what's going on in the play. So those are guys that think the game. Those are guys that know how to play the game. And Jimmy Butler is one of those. He just gets it. Like, he gets the game. So that makes everyone else's job a little bit easier with the Warriors in the fact that he can cover for some stuff, and you could always go to him to get a free throw. I don't know how many free throws he's averaging, but he's like an 8 free throw game guy. That's what he is. So to have him on there defensively, offensively, And you watch him offensively, he's not a guy that tries to go out and get his buckets. He'll just get him through cuts. He'll get him through offensive rebounds. He'll get him through slices. He'll just get him out of the flow of the offense, or in the flow of the offense, I should say. But you don't have to set up a whole bunch of plays for him to be effective. And he doesn't have to score to be effective. So what does this do for the Warriors moving forward? I don't know. I mean, I guess they can get to the 6-5 maybe. I mean, that's the goal, to get out of the play-in game. Or at minimum, give yourself 2 cracks at a play-in game. Give yourself a 7 seed. In case you lose, you can still get another game at home, and you get 2 games at home. But you're going to have to pass up what the Clippers are there, the T-Wolves are there, the Kings are there, the Suns are behind them now. The Lakers may be, and I'll get to them in a minute, Lakers may be too far ahead because I don't know the Lakers are going to slide back that many games. And then I don't know if they can get any higher than 5. Because you got Houston, I think, who's 1 game ahead of the Lakers right now. You got Memphis, you got Denver, and then no one's catching OKC. OKC is the best team, maybe in the league, certainly in the Western Conference. So if you can get to 5-6, and I think it's possible, you just watch them play now. And I understand who they played. They lost to this very Dallas team not that long ago. They played a Kings team that's transitioning. They played a Dallas team that's depleted in the front line. They've played a Bulls team that's just not very good. So it doesn't matter to me, though. Right now, it's just about stacking wins, trying to get to as many wins as possible, and get to that 5 seed, 6 seed, somewhere around there, if you possibly could. We got the stats. We got like my TV that's turned into a monitor here now, which is incredible. I might have to check into that. I'm looking at it right now. I'm like looking down. Yeah, Clippers, Wolves, Mavericks. There you go. It's popping up right there. Good Lord, I can't even see it. Do I have glasses? I don't think I own a pair of glasses. That's the one thing I haven't really resisted it. I just don't think I need glasses. Maybe I do. I don't know. Is that as small as I think it is? It looks pretty small, but I can make it out. I mean, Dallas is right there too. So who could they get? Like, I'm curious to see where the Kings go, because without Fox, they got Monk running the show now, and they got a bunch of dudes that can score. I just don't know how that whole thing fits together, because the Fox-Sabonis thing was really nice. That was a really nice combo. They don't have that combo anymore, and they're asking Malik Monk to handle the ball. Malik Monk's to get the ball and go. Like, he's a shooter. He's a scorer. And so is Fox, but Fox can handle the ball. He's a point guard and everything. So I'm curious how that thing works out. I think Dallas is going to be really good defensively once they get everybody back. And I think Phoenix is toast. I don't know why. I've watched them play a number of times. I still can't quite figure it out. Like, they should be better. But, you got Booker. One of the things I will say about Phoenix is they never play. Like, how are you going to get any chemistry when the guys are never on the court together? And I'm not saying it's their fault, but, Beal's hurt or he's out, and then Booker's out, and then KD's out. It just never feels like they have that, because the team they have should be better than this. Minnesota still hasn't got the Julius Randle. I don't know if that trade is – I know they did it for financial reasons, moving Cat to New York, but Clippers are a team – like the teams that give the Warriors the biggest trouble that Butler will help out with are the young athletic teams, right? And those happen to be all the best teams at the top. OKC, young athletic. Memphis, young and athletic. Clippers are not young, but athletic, and they're long. And I'm kind of looking around this light right now to see Houston is super young, super athletic. Lakers, not so much. They're not super athletic, except for Jared Vanderbilt, one of my favorite players, one of my favorite role players in the NBA. I love that guy. Incredible. So that's kind of but the Warriors felt like they had to do something. This wasn't something that I think they wanted or he wanted, right? The Warriors wanted KD. KD said, nah, done it, don't want to do it again. Phoenix wanted Butler. Butler wanted Phoenix, but Phoenix couldn't figure out a way to make the trade happen because Beal had a no-trade clause. And Beal's like, nah, I like Phoenix. I know we're not very good, but I like it here, so I'm not going anywhere. So they couldn't make that thing work. So it was almost like, well, I don't know. Warriors and Butler were just standing around. Hey, you want to go to the prom? I don't know. You want to go to the prom? No one else has asked us. All right, let's just go to the prom together and see how it works out. And it's worked out pretty good so far. Worked out pretty good so far. The other one, oh man. I mean, we can do these two together. The two on the left, Luka and AD. If you're the Mavs and you're Nico Harrison, you better be right on this. You absolutely better be right. Because I know you traded a guy that you thought, oh, he's a little overweight, maybe smokes, maybe drinks. And by the way, that stupid YouTube clip of, I don't know if it was Nico or somebody else taking the beer from Luka. Remember that? Where Luka's out drinking a beer in the tunnel and somebody like takes it from, like, I'd have been like, give my beer back, punk. Who do you think you are? Like, it's Luka Doncic. Let him drink a beer. Let the man have a beer, okay? Like, this guy, whether he's overweight or not, he's still throwing up 39-9. Like, guess what? Go ahead and be out of shape if you want at 39-9. You're okay. I think we can deal with that. And we'll hopefully, as you get older and mature, you're going to start working out a little bit more, keep yourself in better shape. But this guy's like insane. Absolutely insane. That was the most unexpected trade that I can remember in my lifetime of watching sports. I'm trying to think of something bigger. I mean, I was only 6 years old when Kareem wanted out of Milwaukee, but he wanted out of Milwaukee, right? A lot of these trades are because somebody wants out. Somebody doesn't want to be somewhere, whether it be Anthony Davis in New Orleans, didn't want to be in New Orleans, whether it's a contractual thing or I don't like the direction of the franchise thing. Somebody wants out. And here it is right here. This is Luka. Yeah, it's nice. We have a beer. Hey, good job. We're going to oh man, can I have that beer? Do you see the look on his face too? He's like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, you kidding me? He's like, hey, look at this. Look at his face. Right here, he's like, I'm fucking Luka Doncic. You kidding me? You're just taking that beer from me? And then you're bro hugging my man? Like, well, you thought that was smooth? And then he kind of shrugs. Like, man, whatever. I just go in there and get another beer. That's just stupid. I mean, he took Luka's beer. The man just got you to the finals. I go get him a beer. Go get him another beer, okay? And a cigar. Whatever Luka wants. Just get Luka. You need a beer? I got you. Here, we're on camera. You want a bong? I'll hold it for you. I'll just throw it down there. By the way, I used to do bongs in junior college. Have you ever bonged an entire 40 of Old English? Not pleasant. It wasn't pleasant at all. By the way, Old English is the official beer of JUCO basketball. I think it is. Or it's Mickey's Big Mouth. It's one or the other. We used to drink those all the time. God, that was awful. You know how they'd like take the Old English 40 and they'd take a swig of it? And the whole thing was back then, pour some into the ground, one for me, one for my homies, that kind of stuff. I just think they wanted to get rid of 5 ounces because they're like, this tastes like rat piss. I don't want to drink 5. I want to drink 40 ounces of this stuff. And then they said charcoal filtered, like that made it better. Oh, it's charcoal filtered. Oh, okay. And now that you say that, I mean, give me another one. Give me another 40 of Old E that's charcoal filtered. Yeah, this is like really, really good stuff. Speaking of beer, on Fridays, I think I'm going to have we might do it every show. I may just do it whenever I want to. Grab a beer and have a beer of the show, beer of the week. And we're going to do some shows from some breweries as well. And hopefully we'll have some news on that for you upcoming. But it's give Luka his damn beer. Let the man drink his beer. That'd have been sweet if it had been a 42, like just a big ass charcoal filtered oldie. Come on, baby. Maybe some Colt 45 too. Billy D out there shilling his Colt 45. That was bad stuff, man. That malt liquor was really rotten stuff, but cost effective. All right, it's probably a beer the Giants would have signed under Farhan. A cost effective beer. Look at all the value we get with the 40 ounces. Look at that. Only $2.29. We're good to go. Lone Star. Lone Star. Anyway, Luka. So you trade Luka, right? Which is like, I was at a St. Mary's Gonzaga game. By the way, congratulations to Randy Bennett and the St. Mary's Gales winning back-to-back regular season WCC titles. Well done, coach. Incredible. Not only did you do that, you swept Gonzaga. Bang. Got him there, got him here. And everyone would have thought, well, Gonzaga lost in Moraga. Certainly they're going to win the one at home, right? Revenge. Get back at the Gales. Not a chance. No. Randy Bennett had his boys ready, and they went up there and took care of business. And now I think they have a 3-game lead with 2 games to go. So they're going to win their second WCC title. So well done. That was very cool. And led that one, I think, from wire to wire. Gonzaga got close in the end, but they got it done. I don't know where they look. This is going to happen a lot during the show. I'm just going to take like left turns, like random left turns from here. And like, just, I don't know where I'm going to end up because things just are churning in my head. And I think of this, then I think of that. And then I go here, and then I go here. And then I'm like Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun. I'm like, and where was I? I don't know where I was, but I know I was talking about Luka. So let me get to the Luka angle, and then we'll get to the AD angle. The trade, we've already said, like that was just a nuts trade. Didn't expect it. That's how I got to it. I was at the St. Mary's Gonzaga game when the ESPN cameraman told me the trade. I'm like, get out of here. I can trade Luka. They didn't trade Luka. Come on. He goes, no, they traded Luka for AD. And I was like, so I looked at my phone. Sure enough, Luka's going to the Lakers. The Lakers. And I thought, are you kidding me? The Lakers? Like, so the Lakers go from Kareem, who wants to come over from the Bucks, right? And then you have Kareem, and even Wilt. Wilt was before that. He comes over, and they didn't win a championship with Goodrich and West. So Kareem comes over, and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be incredible. They didn't win. He won MVPs, but they didn't win. And then they get the number 1 draft pick, Magic. So now you're thinking, oh, God, the Lakers are going to be awesome. And remember, I was a Laker fan back then. This was like my prime Laker fandom. This is a young Tom Tolbert growing up in Southern California. My favorite player of all time was Magic Johnson, and just loved the Lakers. So I'm like, oh, baby, we're set. We're set forever. And then Magic goes out, and they win an 80 against the Sixers. Maybe the greatest finals performance of all time. Magic Johnson, Game 6, on the road, playing center, taking over for Kareem, who had the ankle sprain. 42, 15, and 7. 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists at center. I still contend that's the greatest finals performance of all time. All time. Because of the circumstance, because he was a rookie, and because he changed positions and took over for their leader. Incredible. So I'm thinking, oh, man, Lakers are set. And then guess what happens a couple years later? They get James Worthy, another number 1 overall pick. Some goofy trade with the Cavaliers. They end up with, and then you're thinking, okay, they're good forever, right? They're good. They got Kareem. They got Magic to the draft. They got Big Game James. And then they start, Magic gets old, Kareem retires, all that stuff. Detroit takes over, and then it's the Bulls' time. And then who do they get? Shaq. Does it get much bigger than Shaq? No, it doesn't. Shaq goes there. And then they figure out a way to draft Kobe. Like, hey, what does trade of Vlade Divac and you give us Kobe? And it was more than that. I think Eddie Jones might have been involved. So they get Kobe. And then that starts going down a little bit, right? Shaq, it goes, and they split apart. Now what are we going to do? I think LeBron will want to come here. Yeah, LeBron. Okay, cool. Get LeBron, get AD, win a championship, and things were kind of going, kind of treading water a little bit. And now they got Luka. It's like 40 years, 50 years of like the biggest stars in the game happen to play for the Lakers. And this past weekend against the Nuggets, like I didn't think they could win a championship. I still don't think they can. I think it's going to be hard to beat OKC, although OKC hasn't been there before, and there is something to that. So all the teams that are at the top right now aren't going to have the experience of going through the playoffs. It's going to be OKC. It's going to be Memphis. Houston will be up there. And none of those teams have that experience to, or what it will take to get from the beginning of the playoffs to the end of the playoffs. Denver has it. They've won before. Lakers have it. They've won before with LeBron. So I don't know, but I tell you what, they went to Denver and kicked Denver's ass. I mean, they wore Denver out, and they did so defensively. Threw a lot of doubles at Joker and forced other guys to make shots. Their closeouts were pretty good. I mean, they played really good defense, but more so than anything, what stood out was Luka. That's probably the first time, or was the first time since the trade, that Luka looked like Luka. They're always going to have somebody on the court that can dominate the game, whether it be LeBron or Luka. And they could both be on there together in crunch time. And LeBron's fine. You watch him during that game, he's fine letting Luka handle the action. Like, he doesn't need to. And then they got Austin Reeves, who's a really good player too. I like the makeup of their team. I'm a bigger Jackson Hayes guy than most because he's super athletic and he can run up down the court. He can catch lobs, and that's really all they're asking from him. And I told you what I thought of Jared Vanderbilt. I love Jared Vanderbilt. This guy can defend. He's an athlete. He can rebound. He can run. He can hit an occasional corner three. And he's really smart too. Like, you watch him play, and he understands the game. Like, he gets the game. Rui Hachimura, guy who hits some threes, defend. Like, I just like the team. So it's going to be interesting to see how good they are. They'll have 25 games or so to kind of get that chemistry down before they get to the playoffs. I think they'll still have some bumps, but what a steal. What an absolute steal to get Luka. And the trade from Dallas got AD. AD's an incredible player, right? He's probably a top 5 player in the game right now, the season he's having. He's just not Luka, right? Luka's like generational. AD could end up being a Hall of Famer. Because remember, in the Hall of Fame, it's not just the NBA, it's your entire NBA career. So, look at college and look at the Olympics and all that stuff. But this guy's an incredible player. And now he's healthy. Well, he was. How ironic was that? We're going to trade Luka, injury prone. Or not injury prone, but he's been injured. He's not in the best shape. And then you trade for AD and he gets hurt. Like, that game. That's rough. That's the basketball gods telling you they didn't love the trade. And I did not love the trade at all. Christie's a pretty decent player, though. But, like, talent for talent, it wasn't horrible. Like, because you got AD. And I know people were like, well, why didn't you at least shop him around? Because you couldn't do that. You couldn't shop him around. Can you imagine how much of a circus that would have been? They're ready to burn that place down now. It's still the American Airlines. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the arena is called. It was the American Airlines Arena, but they're ready to burn it. They're ready to burn that place down with Nico in it. Like, they're mad. Like, they realize, like, what are you doing? You just gave away, like, our Larry Bird, our Magic Johnson, our Michael Jordan. I'm not going to compare him to all those guys. I'm just saying, for their franchise, that's who it was. And that's how you get what? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? So that's why I'm saying they better win. If they don't win and you gave away Luka and Luka starts winning championships for the Lakers, man, that is rough. That is rough. Like, I feel for Maverick fan. Not really. I don't care, but it sucks for you. And it's kind of funny. you get Luka Doncic and now you don't have him. Oh my gosh. That does blow. And you definitely have every right to be upset, and then the Lakers. Why? My daughter's like, are you kidding me? The Lakers? Why the Lakers? Anybody but the Lakers. Like, it's so funny because I grew up a Laker fan, right? And I'll be honest, it's left, but I don't hate the Lakers. Like, I hate the Dodgers. Dodgers can fuck off, okay? As much as I respect them, of course, right? None of their players make me want to say I hate you, right? Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Ohtani, traitor. Should have stayed with the Angels. Stay with your roots, pal. Why would you want to go and win a championship? That's selfish. Selfish of you. Like, none of those guys on the Dodgers I look at and go, I hate those guys. Can't stand those guys. Even Dave Roberts. Seems like a really cool guy. It's not like Tommy Lasorda, right, where it's easy to hate Tommy. But it's just the Dodgers. Like I grew up down there, and I'm an Angel fan. I know. We had Ohtani too. We did. He was so good. Should have traded him. God, we just screw up everything. Anyway, like I don't hate that. Like I do. Like I root against the Dodgers pretty much at all turns. Although I got to say, there's a small part of me just because I grew up in LA that I was, if I had to be honest, I was rooting, and I wouldn't even say rooting is the right word, but I'm glad they won over the Yankees. Now the Yankees is a team I will not root for against Satan. I'll root for Satan. Go cloved hooves. I'll put on my cloved hooves and my horns, and I'll be like, go Satan, kick their ass. Because I'm an Angel fan. I'm in the American League. I hate the Yankees. No, ain't happening. But I don't really root for the Lakers, but if they're playing the Celtics, I want the Lakers to win. Like the Celtics are the team that I grew up, Lakers, Celtics, Dodgers, Yankees. Are just certain things like when you're young, that's not going to leave you. So I don't mind the Lakers. I don't root for them. But my daughter hates them, like literally hates the Lakers. And she's like, I can't believe they got Luka. It just, of all the teams, Luka, Lakers. I go, well, get used to it. Because once you're on the Lakers, you ain't going anywhere. You know they're going to keep you. He'll probably be in the Lakers for the next 10, 15 years. And it's going to be interesting to watch. So, yeah, I think great trade for the Lakers. I think they're 15 to 1 to win the championship. Sounds about right. I think they have a chance. I do. I mean, LeBron's just still insane. LeBron's insane. You know, the whole who's the best, who's the GOAT, who's this, who's that. It's like, who cares? Like, I mean, if you're going to ask me, pin me down, do I think he's better than Jordan? No, I think Jordan's the best. But what about Kareem? I mean, we're talking different positions. Just like, who cares? LeBron's one of the best. You know, there's like a handful of best ever. He's one of them. If you're going to give me LeBron and Jordan and you take Jordan and I get LeBron, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking LeBron. I'm good with that. You know, if I had the first pick, would I take Jordan? Yeah. But now I'm okay. I'm like, okay, cool. I get LeBron. I'm going to be okay. So LeBron's still insane the way he plays. Like, it's just wild watching a 40-year-old go out there and do the things he does. So I'm curious to see how that chemistry works out. Dallas, I think Dallas is interesting too, because I think they can really be tough with the defense they have. Kyrie is an incredible shot maker, incredible handles. I think him and Steph Curry have the best handles in the game and the best shot making ability. They're similar in that way, and their handle is so tight they can get to spots they want to get to and get shots off. But Kyrie is incredible shot maker, an incredible shot taker, an incredible shot creator. So Clay can still hit open shots. PJ Washington is a more than serviceable wing, but really their whole kind of, I won't say identity, but with AD, Gafford, and Lively, right? You remember last year in the finals, dribble penetration, lob to Gafford, lob to Lively. Those guys got offensive rebounds. They protect the rim. And then Anthony Davis can do everything you need him to do for a big guy. So I still think they can be a presence when it comes to the playoffs. But still, as good as AD is, I said it earlier on, you don't trade a statue. If a guy is going to be a statue at some point outside your arena, don't trade that guy. Keep that guy. The other trades, look, I'm so bummed that Wemby got hurt. It's just, he's so much fun to watch. He's such a freak. It's still, to me, and I've watched basketball my entire life. I played basketball. 7'4", doing the things he does, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look human. I hate using the cliche alien, but that's what it looks like. It looks very alien. Like, it's just, there's no way a guy that this big can be moving that fluidly and cross over and get to the bucket and shoot the way he shoots. I mean, you have to understand, when I was playing, guys that were his size or maybe even a little bit smaller than him were Chuck Nevitt, Manute Bol, bigger guys like Murasan, even 7-footers like Eaton and Donaldson, guys. I mean, but like Nevitt, Manute, they're like 7'2", 7'3", maybe. These guys are huge. I played with Manute. They were not fluid. They could not handle. They just looked like tall guys that could play basketball a little bit. But Wembanyama looks like a 6'8" guy when he's out there moving, but he's 7'4". And sometimes when he takes off and dunks it from like the dotted line, he just like raises up and goes, like he only gets about a half foot off the ground. And you're like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do. And then bam, you're like, what? What was that? How did he do that? There's no way he could do that. And he does it. And now he doesn't do it because he's out with like, what does he have? Some sort of shoulder stromboli? What is that called? I don't think it's a stromboli, but it's something. It's like somebody tell me what it is. I got these two yo-yos sitting next to me, making sure I get the blood. I know it's a blood clot. It says right there. I can read, but it's like a thrombosis or some sort of thrombosis. Yeah, it is like a thrombosis, like a strombosis, a stromboli. I don't know, something like that. By the way, there's this restaurant in Alameda that has incredible strombolis. They're incredible. Dipping them in some marinara sauce. Oh man, that is awesome. Although sometimes it gives me heartburn. I think I don't know what it gives me, but oh, you know what it gave me? I thought it was the marinara sauce I had one night because I was sweating and I thought, oh my gosh, I hope I can still have this stromboli because I love this stromboli and I love dipping it in marinara and stuff. And then I started sweating and I was like, oh God, this is very, very, very uncomfortable. And then I went away and it happened like 4 or 5 more times. You know what it was? It wasn't the stromboli. It was gallstones. Yeah. Who knew? Who knew stromboli gave you gallstones? Actually, I don't think it does, but it just is a coincidence that it actually happened to happen when I had this stromboli. So the fact that he has the I say now that I'm saying stromboli, I can't say it. Thrombosis, whatever it is. It's in his shoulder. It's a blood clot. Okay, there it is. Deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. Now they said that it's something that they should be able to alleviate, and he should be back next year. But it's just a bummer not to get to watch him and De'Aaron Fox play because I thought that was going to be an incredible high pick and roll combo. I mean, you get De'Aaron Fox going from right to left. You get Wemby rolling at 7'4", and then you get shooters, corner and weak side. I mean, good luck with that. Because if you help a little bit, you don't have somebody tall enough that they can't throw it over with Wembanyama out there. So that one's going to be, I can't wait to watch that one. It's probably going to end up working out better for them because they'll have him. They'll have Fox, Wemby, Fox, Castle, who I like, really nice young player. Vassell, who I like as well. They got some good players. So I think missing the playoffs will probably end up in the long run be better for them because they're going to get another high draft pick. I think maybe they don't have this year's draft pick. I probably should check on that before I say it. But they're going to be someone to watch in the future as that combination grows. And then the other one, the under the radar one that didn't involve a superstar, but I think could pay massive dividends was DeAndre Hunter going to Cleveland from Atlanta. He was having a fantastic year this year, shooting over 40% from three. I want to make sure I get exactly what his stats were. And we'll see Max if you can get it before I can get it. I bet you I can beat you. Maybe not. Let me see. Well, I know they played last night. They actually beat the Grizzlies last night. Let's see. Stats. Tell me when you got it. Hunter, career. I beat you. I got it. Okay. This year from three-point land, he's shooting. Holy cow. I didn't even know he's shooting 52% from three. Good night. I mean, his career is 39, 38, 35, 38, and then he was 32 when he was younger. But think about that. He goes from 38, roughly a 38, 39% shooter, 3-point shooter, to 52 this year. He's shooting 48 from the field, which is in line with what he's shot over the last few years. He's been a 46% shooter, so not that big a deal. But he's averaging 14 points a game with Cleveland. Oh, he's shooting 52. I got it. He's shooting 52 with the Cavaliers. Okay, that's that. He's averaging 19. He averaged 19 with the Hawks earlier this year. Oh my God. Oh God. The closer's coming in, losing here. There she is. There she is. Like I said, you will get the full animal. Come here. You're gonna get the full animal treatment at some point this year. So say hi to everybody. Oh, no, don't do that, please. Don't. Hey, come on. Hey. Can you please not? Can you please not? Please no. So this is Lou. This is crazy ass Lou, or as we call her, Lucifer or lunatic, because that's basically what she is. And as you can tell, she has an on-off switch that's on the top of her head. Can you show everybody your switch? Can you? No, please don't do that. Okay? No licking. You going to go down now? Why don't you go down? Go on. I know. She's probably like wants a snack, and she's gonna start barking and everything. So we're gonna have to put her back out. Max and Daniel are in here with me, and you can pick her up. You can pick her up. Look, come here. Okay, come here. If you're gonna be noisy, you can't stay in here. Okay. If you're going to be quiet, then you can stay in here. So, and I also have the two cats and a bunny that may roll in here. But I love DeAndre Hunter. He's athletic, long. You know he plays defense. He went to Virginia. You go to Virginia and you play under Tony Bennett, you're going to know how to play defense. And I think they were set. Like they were set for a nice run. I love the Garland-Mitchell combo at guard. And then you got a Coral Wade, whoever you want to fill in, like at a 3 spot. And I guess they started Strus last night. And then you have Allen and Mobley. And Allen and Mobley give you something no other team has. They have length and they have agility. They're not lumbering big guys. They're not limited big guys. Like Mobley is a guy that can hit threes. He's a guy that can score. He's a guy that's incredible defensively. And Allen is that way too, but Allen's your more prototypical big guy. Pick and rolls, catch lobs, get offensive rebounds. So they complement each other really, really well. And now you have Hunter coming in too. I mean, if you want to put Allen, Mobley, and Hunter out there, holy smokes. I mean, good luck. That is an incredible defensive front line. Incredible. So to me in the East, it's them in Boston. And Boston, everybody knows Boston falls hoops, right? They're just the ultimate pitch and kick team. And they got everybody going to set pick and rolls, and everybody out there can shoot, right? You got, 1 through, I would say, 7 can shoot on that team. Maybe not great shooters, but good enough shooters. Tatum, shoot. Brown, shoot. Holiday, shoot. Porzingis, shoot. Pritchard off the bench. Yeah, just everybody. So, and I'll get into that at some point this season too, about they shoot 51 threes a game. Is that good for basketball? Not good for basketball? Where does efficiency kind of take away from the entertainment of sports a little bit? I want to delve into that at some point this year because I think there is something to it, but I don't know if there's an answer. I really don't. I don't know if sports just evolve and this is what you get. But going back to Cleveland, I think they may have made the biggest trade for this year that could have an impact on winning a championship. Like, we'll find out. Maybe the Lakers did. I don't know if the Lakers are going to get there this year, but maybe. If they play defense like they did this past weekend, this past Saturday against the Nuggets, and yeah, they're going to have a chance to win a championship. But I don't know I need another 10 games or so to look and say, okay, how are they doing consistently? Mavericks still, I don't know. They have enough scoring, but maybe they're going to be really good defensively. I know that. So that's a possibility. Spurs, this was for the future anyway. So that's not a huge deal. Butler, I don't know that I don't know the Warriors are champ. I love it, but I don't know they're going to win. They're the championship team. You hate to say you can't do it with Steph and Draymond because they've done it, and Butler's been to championships. So I just don't see it. I don't know if they're deep enough, but maybe they are. Maybe they are. They're playing really, really good right now, and I love what Butler's brought to the team. And I know, look, Draymond said we're going to win a championship, and everybody thought, oh, hey, Draymond said you're going to win a championship. Do people still pay attention to that stuff? Do people pay attention to proclamations? Do people pay attention? Like, this isn't Joe Namath anymore, right? We're going to win the Super Bowl. This isn't Jimmy Johnson back in the 90s against the Niners. Your guarantees, God, I've always thought, aren't we going to play the game? We're going to play the game, right? Well, then who cares if you guaranteed it or not? We're going to find out at some point whether you're right or not. And I just don't. I hope Draymond feels like they're going to win a championship. If he doesn't, what are we doing? What are they doing? So all he's doing is saying what he feels. I mean, every player should feel that way. They should all say, I think we're going to win a championship, even if you're crazy. But if you're going to make the playoffs, do you think you can win one game? Do you think you can win 4 games? Well, then if you can do that, then you can do it the next series. In the next series, you can win a championship. I mean, on the outside, we're all sitting here going, no, you're not. You're not going to win. But it doesn't matter. I've never, guarantees to me are like, who cares? It's like when I get power rankings. You know how in every sport now they give you like a power ranking of teams? Baseball, weekly power rankings. Football, weekly power rankings. Basketball, weekly power rankings. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, we're going to have playoffs at the end of the year. We're going to know who the number 1 team is. Like, why do we need power rankings? And why do fans get all up in arms? Oh, I can't believe it. How could you have us 9? We're clearly 7. Clearly, who gives a shit? Like, why do you care where your team is ranked in basketball in the middle of February? This isn't the NCAA tournament. We're not talking about seeding. It's not football. You don't have to get invited to a tournament to find out who wins. It's pretty simple in professional sports. You get a good enough record, you go to the playoffs. If you go to the playoffs, you have a chance to win a championship. It's just that simple. The writers have nothing to do with it. Votes have nothing to do with it. Whoever from the Athletic or SI or whoever feels about your team in the middle of the season has no bearing on whether your team actually wins a championship. So when this got started, I do not know. Why it's still a thing, I think I know. Because fans like it, and if fans like it, it's eyeballs on the magazine or the website. Therefore, editors tell their writers to do it. Hey, you got to do this. But I don't want to do it. Why do I got to do this? It's stupid. Because you have to, because people like it. Okay, I'll do it then. It's like, well, yeah, great. Just because stupid fans want something doesn't mean you need to do it. Maybe you do for advertising. And by the way, when I say fans are stupid, I mean that. I don't think a fan is stupid. I think a fan can be smart. I've talked to a lot of smart fans individually, or maybe in a small group. As soon as you get people in big group, they go stupid. They just go dumb for some reason. I don't know how that happens, but they seem to. But if you're one of the fans that really cares about where your team is in the rankings, consider yourself a dummy. Okay? I'm just saying, because it doesn't matter one way or the other. So, yeah, the Warriors, I'll give it a strong because to me, right now, I'm looking at 3 teams that I think have a chance to win a championship. Maybe 4. Celtics, Cavs, Thunder, and then I don't know yet. I don't even know. Like Memphis, they really haven't done anything yet, but I love their team and I love their athleticism. I love Jaren Jackson. Is it Denver? Not sure their bench is deep enough. Is it Houston? Not sure they can shoot well enough. Is the Lakers? Don't know if they play defense well enough. Clippers are interesting. Can they stay healthy? Are they going to have their guys? See, as the season goes on, we will continue. I mean, look, I love basketball, but I love sports. So we're going to talk all the sports. We're going to talk basketball as we get close to it. Baseball we'll get into. The one thing I will let you know right off the rip, because we'll have a show Wednesday and Friday, and we're not sure exactly. Probably going to be in the noon range. Monday may end up being later because I may have some golf stuff that I'd like to do. I mean, I don't feel like getting super tied down to a schedule because, well, shit, I did that for 28 years. I want to be able to do it. I want to be able to do this show on Lou's time, okay? So whenever Lou says I can do the show, we're going to do the show. We thought we could trust Lou to be in here, but apparently Lou very excited about the first show. So we couldn't. Lou came in here and just barked. And maybe I'll let her back in the last couple seconds. But so we'll have it all. I'm hoping within the next couple months, like we'll just have everything kind of ironed out. It'll be smooth. We'll go boom, he'll do this and that and that, and then boom. And I might even have a bigger Arizona helmet. I mean, that's disgraceful. I got a big Niner helmet. That is a Steve Young autograph helmet, by the way, that I bought before I even knew Steve. I bought in Charlotte at an auction. And I just go, yeah, I like the Niners. Niners are cool and, good cause. And it was such a good cause, I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like, infancy thrombosis or something. I think I bought it for, or Stromboli's. I'm not sure. But I got that. And then I got that. And we need a bigger, that Arizona helmet's just pathetic. I mean, look at that. Well, they were pathetic this year. So maybe if they win, maybe they go to a bowl game next year, I'll get a bigger helmet. Okay. And if the Niners, if you don't make the playoffs, I'm going to get a small helmet. And behind, you probably can't see it. Those are shoes. In case you weren't paying attention earlier, those are Shaq shoes. I have to take those down. That just seems weird. That seems weird, right? That I have somebody else's shoe up there. Who am I, Rex Ryan? I mean, that's just, I don't know. So maybe the shoes got to go. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the show or with the shoes. Wednesday, we're going to have Brent Jones on. So I'll Brent on Wednesday, and we're going to break down the Niners. We're going to break down the NFL season, kind of an autopsy on the NFL season, and then look forward. And we'll get into all kinds of Niners stuff. We will have a chat component to this show where you're going to be able to ask me questions if you want to do that at some point. Again, I'm not sure when. This is why we waited so long to do this, so we can not quite be ready when we open it up. Like you would think, you waited so long, shouldn't you be like up and running? Yeah, probably, but we're not. So suck it. We're just gonna you have to deal with it, and we'll have to figure it out as we go on. And then Friday, again, I'm still working on some stuff. We'd like to do some shows from some breweries. If anybody is into that. You want to come out like on a Friday, have a beer, maybe 1:00, something like that. We'll head out there, and I'm going to talk to a couple of my friends, and we'll have some beers and do a show. We can have a live studio audience or something like that. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around noon. What's it? Instagram, Twitch here. Are we on Twitter or X? I'm just gonna call it Twitter. Who cares? I don't know. Did I tell you my X story? My one of my buddies, Steve, had an uncle, and his uncle was probably in his 70s, and he had a hat, and he wore a hat, and it was a hat with a big X on it, and he didn't know because he just liked the hat. There was an X on it. He was rolling around in a Malcolm X hat. Which is pretty funny. Just rolling around in his old Malcolm X hat. Like, there you go. You like that hat? You like that hat, do you? Enjoy that one? Yeah. Interesting. Interesting thought. Interesting hat. Really enjoy that. So yeah. So Twitter, and then what else do we have going on that we need to pass along? I'm trying to think. So we got the chat thing going on. We got the guests going on. We got the kind of here going on. We're going to try to do the brewery thing if you're into that. And I guess that's it. Oh, one other thing I wanted to point out, because we will talk to Brent on Wednesday. And then Friday, we'll be right in the thick of it. If you think for 1 second, like even a littlest, nanoest of seconds, if you think I'm going to talk combine, you are out of your fucking mind. Okay? There is not a chance I will talk combine at all. There are plenty of other outlets for you to go to and get your sick fetishes off, okay? It's not going to be me, all right? I'm not going to sit here and talk about some dude's 3-cone shuttle. I'm not going to sit here and talk about some dude's 40. I'm not going to sit here and talk about how many times a guy benched 2 1/4. I'm not going to do it. It interests me all about this much. Right. In fact, exactly that much. It's not going to happen. I like to talk about the games that are on TV. We're going to get into free agency. We'll get into the draft a little bit, because here's the one thing I'm not going to do to you. I'm not going to come on here and fake it and act like I know the guard from Texas Tech who just got drafted in the 3rd round and tell you I like his feet, or I like the cornerbacks that they just drafted from Louisiana Lafayette, Raging Cajuns, by the way. I'm not going to tell you that I think his hip fluidity is a little suspect. Like, I don't like the way he turns. He's got a good turn from right to left, but not left to right. I think half the people that do this are just making this shit up. Really. They go on, look at like 4 highlights and go, I really like that. Like, they showed the highlight, the Warriors signed some dude from Australia. I got to send insurance. How come you can't send? Shouldn't everything be done electronically? Like, how come things aren't done electronically? Like, I gotta actually scratch out a check and send that to somebody. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm not going to come on. I was telling about the Warriors just signed some 2-way kid from Australia, I think it was, some 6'6" point guard, and they showed highlights. And I think there was an account, I think it was on Twitter, it goes, oh, try stopping this. I'm like, bro, I look like a Hall of Famer if you just show 5 of my highlights. If you show highlights, you're going to look great. Hence, highlights. That's why they call them highlights. They don't show you tripping over your own shoelaces when they highlight, okay? Highlights, by design, are supposed to make you look good. That's why they do make you look good. So, yeah, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not doing the I know, look, I'm not combine shaming. If you want to get into combine and you want to do that and that's your fetish, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Get into it. Get into that combine, baby. It's just I'm not jumping in that pool because I don't know enough about everyone that is draft eligible, because in football there's so many people. And number 2, and most importantly, I don't care. I literally could care less. I just couldn't. NBA combine, guess what? I know basketball way better than football. I could care less about that too. I don't care. I don't care. Fall league, don't care. None of that. Show me the real games and we'll talk about the real games or real trades like we just talked about. But the combine, I don't know. It doesn't know. Show me the tape. Let me watch the tape. And if they're guys that I've seen, for those of you that know me, you know I watch plenty maybe almost too much college football, possibly. It could be because I love it. Could be because I could wager on it. Maybe sometimes it's a possibility. But I watch entirely too much college football, so I know a lot of these players. I know them, but I'm not going to go digging for them. Just see the guy from Eastern Michigan? No, I didn't. I didn't watch an Eastern Michigan game this year. Okay? I watched some auxiliary schools, but, fourth, fifth place teams in the SEC Big Ten, not in the MAC. I'm not watching those games. So, no. Again, if that's your deal, I'm not combine shaming you. I'm not going to do it. You go ahead and knock yourself out. There are plenty of other guys out there that'll help you out with their combine knowledge. I'm just going to say I love everybody. That way, when they hit, I'm going to go, see, I told you so. Told you so. Should have drafted that guy. So, all right, let's let Lou in one more time. And since it's the end of the show and Lou wants to come in, are we getting close to 2? Because you know what? Come here, Lou. Come here, Lou. Because Lou's hungry. Because Lou, come here. Are you hungry? Okay. Is there a chance that maybe you can settle down just a little bit? Is there a little bit? Lou's 9, by the way. She's 9 years old, and Lou acts like she's 2. So, look, Lou, if you're going to come in here and enjoy the show, you're going to have to show a little bit of respect, okay? Just a little bit. Like, you can come up here, I'll hold you, not for the whole show, but you can't be barking and all that stuff. So, it was the first show today, so we have some glitches. So you're going to be good. And I know you want to go eat. So anyway, I'm going to feed her. We'll be back Wednesday. And again, this will probably be about the length of the show, anywhere between an hour, hour and a half, somewhere around there, depending on what I have to talk about and how long I want to talk about it. As I said, Wednesday we'll have Brent Jones on, so that could go 45 minutes, an hour, 30, whatever we want to get into. We're not going to have somebody yelling in our ear, "Now break, time to break." So, and then Friday, we'll just, and the goal is hopefully Fridays during football season, we'll have a handicapper on. Like my guy, Dr. Bob, I think will come on with us, and maybe a couple other guys. So we'd love to concentrate. And I like to gamble. I like to bet on sports. So we'll get into that. We're not going to be like the other idiot shows, though. We're not going to promote it in a way that makes you feel like, hey, look, of course you're going to win. Why wouldn't you win? This guy never loses. Like, look, if you gamble, you're going to lose. Okay? Period. You should know that right now. You just hope not to lose that much. And you hope to use it as entertainment. That's it. You go to a movie, you spend $20. You bet on a game, $20 on a game, boom. It was 2 hours, 3 hours of entertainment. If you win, cool. I've never seen a movie pay you $20 that you go see. The movie was great. I won $20 during the movie. That was awesome. I love that movie. I voted for it. So Friday will be that, and then we'll just keep churning and keep on going. And again, we're going to try to have guests maybe once a week. And look, a lot of them will be just my friends. I want to have some of my friends on just to sit around, have some beers and BS. A lot of people that I interviewed, whether they be athletes or journalists or people that I did shows with. I told you, we're not sure exactly where this is going to go, but we'll figure it out at some point. So hope everybody enjoyed. Hope everybody had a good time. I hope this was a worthwhile, out of the 90 minutes, I hope it was worthwhile, let's say 50. All right. There's probably 40 minutes in there. You're like, that was crap. And look, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to agree with you. We can maybe tighten it up a little bit, but this will probably be what it's going to be. Hour and a half, and we're going to get into some other stuff as well, but no combine. No combine ever. That is my vow to you. That's a platform I'm going to run on. No combine. Oh, and Monday after Super Bowl should be a holiday. And everybody should have drinking water available to them. Those are my 3 platforms right there. No combine, drinking water, and Monday after Super Bowl is a holiday. There you go. That's what I like. All right, we'll see you on Wednesday. Take it easy, everybody.